CSL Primetime is brought to you by Jevova Sports Uniforms and Apparel. Jevova, giving you sports experience for a lifetime. This is Jevova CSL Primetime. Hey folks, I'm Alex Bastiavansky, and it is time. After nearly 5 months of play, we say goodbye to the regular season and get the playoffs underway this weekend. We'll have a full preview of the first round coming up later on in the show. Before that, though, last week saw numerous games go down with teams jockeying for playoff position, and we're going to start there with Jevova game highlights. So there was basically one thing teams were trying to avoid, and that was finishing in 8th spot, which would see a first-round matchup against number 1 seeded York Region. And Milton had a glorious opportunity to jump out of the basement with 3 games last week. All they needed was a single win, and their first game, they hit the pitch against Scarborough. Game highlights now brought to you by Jevova Sports Uniforms and Apparel. Jevova, giving you sports experience for a lifetime. And the stakes were high for Milton heading into the last week of play, no question about it. And for the first few minutes, they looked like they might rise to the occasion. 7th minute, Amir Hosic tests Imadikura, easily knocked away though. Scarborough would strike early and often. Look at the ball movement here. Starts all the way back in midfield. Kirill Dimitrov for Alex Stojilkovic. Adis Asesic trailing the play. Sneaks up. Boom. Pops it home. Picture perfect. Scarborough goes up by a 1-0 count. And their wizardry with the ball would continue. 12th minute. It's Asesic for Stojilkovic. Vladimir Vucinovic getting down to make the nice stop though. Milton did have its chances. Lucky McGorry here breaking down the wing. Imadikura comes way off his line to challenge him, and he does nicely to block the shot there. Scarberia, mesmerizing combinations. Asesic takes the return feed here, but puts it right into the waiting arms of the keeper. This play ended up offside, but we had to show it anyway just to show off the incredible 1v1 skills Stojilkovic has, as he absolutely schools Alan Kukalovic, and then out front for Orlovsky. Shade offside though, which is too bad. It was nice. The end result might have been different for the Milltowners if they could have finished a couple of their chances. McGorry stopped by Hakuri here, rebound, and then blasted wide by Zoran Zek. Stojilkovic continues with the masterful offensive display. Again, he victimizes Kukolovic, and this time he just says, heck, I'll finish it myself. Gorgeous strike. Scarborough goes up 2-0 through 42 minutes. Just before the break, Kirill Dimitrov turns on the Jets. A nice cross inside here. The header, though, saved by Vucinovic. At second half, Scarborough notches another. Hasesic to Dimitrov to Orlovsky out front, who would find the back of the net. It was total domination at that point by the visitors from Scarborough, and they would actually add one more to complete the route. So 4-0 Scarborough, your final. Milton missing top scorer Adnan Smajic for the game, but looking rather uninspired altogether on the night. So that did not go well for Milton, obviously, but they still had 2 more games to try to nab those essential 3 points. Their next encounter was against the team they'd have to face in the quarterfinals if they couldn't get their act together. That team being New York Region, who destroyed the rest of the league on their way to the regular season crown this year. And those being the stakes, Milton upped its game, but would it be enough? Milton was like a whole different team on this night compared to the Scarborough game. Early on, Adnan Smajic, just can't turn the corner though. And then it's Smajic with the quick release here. Adrian Ibanez getting his hand on it though to deny. Smajic, snake bitten on the day. Gorgeous strike here that beats Ibanez, but just not that pesky goalpost. Moments later, York's top dog, Richard West, runs into the same problem. A breakaway, but goalpost for him as well. So they were deadlocked at the break. Donuts on the board. Milton continued to press in the second. Smajic continued to come up just short, missing out on that one. But you can't slack off against York even for a second. They will burn you. Anthony Badul gets sprung in the 85th minute. Sweet move. Nice goal. Heartbreaking for Milton, though. They came so close to a point there. So 1-0 York, your final. Kudos to Milton for playing them so tight. Could have gone either way, but as mentioned, even the slightest mistake and the shooters will nail you on it every single time. Okay, let's take a look at our final edition of the regular season top scorers, brought to you by the York Region Shooters Academy. Train with the professionals. Head to yorkregionshooters.com for more information. And Sergei Ivliev of Ukraine takes over on the last weekend. He wins the Golden Boot with 15 goals, followed closely by Richard West, Smajic with 12, Esesic with 11, and in a tie for 5th, Milo Simpanovic and Darilov of Ukraine. Welcome back to Jevolva CSL Primetime. Well, two teams neck and neck in the standings squared off last weekend. Toronto Atomic and Serbia. Now, both were mid-table. Both have struggled to find consistency all season, despite boasting lineups rife with talent, and both were playing their final weekend of the regular season, trying to build up some momentum heading into the playoffs. Hold on to your hats. There were some gorgeous goals in this one. 9 minutes in, Branislav Vukamanovic with the goal of the week. Free kick from 34 yards out. That baby had eyes. Serbs off to a dream start, up 1-0. Atomic tries to respond. Bogdan Polichkov crosses for Ihor Melnik. His header slides just wide, though. 3 minutes later, Daryl Brezak with the one-timer out of mid-air. Goran Skaric getting down for the save, though. And then it's Brezak using his head this time, but it slides just wide of the far post. Terry Dunfield, free kick, almost fools Skaric, but he manages to knock it away. And then Brezak playing the playmaker role this time. The bicycle kick flies over top of the net, however. Then Brezak beats Skaric, but Skaric gets bailed out by his defender, who clears it to safety. We weren't shown what the infraction was, but Dunfield went to the penalty spot in the 35th, which he converts to tie it up at 1 apiece. And then deja vu all over again in the 43rd minute, as Terry will slot this one home as well to make it 2-1 Atomic at the half. Second frame, White Eagles get one back in the 69th as Goran Svanja scores. But then Dunfield from 25 yards out. Oh, baby. Where was this goal-scoring touch in the first half of the season? 3-2 Atomic, and Terry has the hat trick. And then Oleksiy Yates gets down for the beautiful header in the 89th minute to seemingly put this one away for good. Atomic going up by a 4-2 count at that point late in the game. But then just before the final whistle, Luka Bojic digs it out and fires it off the post and in to reduce the lead to 4-3. Too little, too late for Serbia, though. 4-3 your final. A first-round playoff preview this one was, as we'll discuss in a moment. And judging by this game, it will be a heck of a quarterfinal. While York Region was simply playing out the schedule on Sunday, the game for Brantford had serious implications. And we talked about Milton trying desperately to nab 3 points to get out of the basement. But Brantford could complicate things significantly for them if they could steal a W against the Shooters. Unfortunately for them, as we've seen all season, that's easier said than done. York outplayed Brantford from start to finish on Sunday. 13th minute. They open the scoring. They're going to miss on the original chance here. Just can't tuck it home, but David Schipper right there, and he finishes it. 1-0 for the Shooters, and then free kick for York. The Brantford keeper awkwardly makes the stop. One of the more interesting saves we've seen this year. Then corner kick moments later by Kamal Reed with the header that flies wide. Brantford, not many chances. This looked like a good one, though, as they walk in here and ring it off the bar. Alas, offside was called. Anthony Badul charging in off the wing here, but he hammers it just wide of the net. Free kick, York in the 38th. The Brantford defense asleep at the wheel, apparently. Kamal Reed, he's so hot right now, deposits the header, and it's 2-zip for York. And then just before the break, Reed will lay it off for O'Dane Simpson. He lets fly, but he rocks it off the side of the net, though. Okay, second half, York continues to dominate. Badur sitting right on the doorstep here, but it's a bit of a swing and a miss. And he was kicking himself over that one. Then moments later, it's Simpson for Badur. This time his header, though, flies well over top of the net. York relentless on the attack. Watch the amount of chances they have here as you've got 1 and then 2 and wait for it here 3, but they smoke it over top of the net. Shooters with a rare defensive gaff. Reed serves it up on a platter for Dragan Milovic. Nice stop by Adrian Ibanez, though. And then free kick, York in the 59th minute, and Simpson just makes this look way too easy. 1 times at home, and the shooters are sailing away up 3-0. And then it's David Guzman showing off his scoring prowess as well as his dancing moves. The shot, beautiful. The celebration, and wait for it, Ole. 4-zip shooters through 66 minutes. The Galaxy try to respond, charging in here, but nice work by the York defender to clear it away. Brantford just gets 1 back. The player ends up going down kind of softly in the box there. Regardless, the penalty kick is called. Dragan Milovic goes to the spot, and yeah, he kills the shutout. Regardless, though, York cruises in this one. They enter the playoffs on a serious high. Unbeaten since August 19th. And certainly firing on all cylinders. They will be tough to take down. One more game to tell you about. Look at Ukraine. Their offense has been unbelievable. 6-3 as they double up Milton. That will secure Ukraine the 2nd seed overall in the playoffs, which we are just about to get to as we see the final standings. York, of course, with the regular season title. There's Ukraine in 2nd, followed by Scarborough, the White Eagles, Toronto Atomic, Hamilton City, Brantford, and then Milton in the basement with 16 points. Welcome back to Javoba CSL Primetime. So the moment has arrived. The matchups are set. And this is what the teams have battled for the last few months. The quarterfinals kick off this weekend in the CSL. Let's take a look now at the first round playoff matchups in our playoff preview. 8 teams with one ultimate goal: to lift the Javoba CSL Championship Trophy on Sunday, October 30th. It all kicks off this weekend with 4 first-round playoff matchups that will no doubt result in ecstasy for some and devastation for others. First, how the teams ended up this season. York were the runaway winners of the CSL regular season title, and they were much deserving of the number 1 seed. First-year squad FC Ukraine finished strong to garner the 2nd spot. Scarborough narrowly earned the 3rd. Serbia slid into the 4th despite having the same amount of points as Atomic by virtue of picking up more wins. Hamilton City sits in 6th. Brantford 7th, and Milton finished at the foot of the table to draw the dreaded 8th seed and a matchup against York Region. And that's where we start. York versus Milton, 1st seed versus 8th. The Shooters dominated the season series, winning all 3 games and outscoring Milton 7-1. On paper, this is certainly a David versus Goliath matchup. York Region had a year for the ages, regular season champions with a potent offense and a defense that's been beyond dominant. The Shooters set a CSL record over a 21-game season by allowing just 10 goals, 17 better than the next best team. In goal, the platoon of Emmanuel Amiltonis and Adrian Ibanez are the best duo in the league, sharing the responsibilities equally. Team captain Gerard Ladieu patrols the midfield and provides solid leadership. And up front, Richard West has been his usual dangerous self. The 2015 Golden Boot winner finished 2nd in scoring this season with 13 goals. York were the 2014 CSL champions and will be extremely difficult to stop. Milton SC faces an enormous task. They finished 35 points behind the Shooters in the standings and garnered just 4 wins. They'll need to up their game significantly to have any chance, but there is hope. Up front, they're led by one of the league's top strikers, Adnan Smajic. Just 24 years old, the Bosnian racked up 12 goals. Lucky Magori is another dangerous option up front, and new acquisition Haris Vaslagic adds experience and a championship pedigree, having won titles in both 2010 with Brantford and 2013 with Waterloo. 2nd seed FC Ukraine takes on 7th seed Brantford in another matchup. Ukraine won the season series, taking 2 of their 3 encounters with 1 draw back on July 23rd. Ukraine has been an incredible story this year. It's their first season in the CSL, but they've been a powerhouse. After being mid-table for much of the year, they finished strong to garner the 2nd seed. Ukraine are an absolute beast up front. Their 45 goals led the league, and they boast the CSL Golden Boot winner, Sergei Ivliev, who finished the season on a tear with 15 goals. Konstantin Darilov has provided significant punch as well up front. If they can hold it together defensively, Ukraine may be impossible to stop. Brantford has had a very difficult season. They finished 7th and never quite got going this year with only 3 wins. The question is, which Brantford team will show up? They've shown that when they play together, they can be extremely dangerous. As evidence, we point to their win over Scarborough and tie with York Region. And they boast one of the CSL's top players in Stefan Vukovic, former TFC Academy player and Canadian under-20 international. One thing is for certain, Brantford will have to tighten up defensively in order to have a chance against Ukraine's powerful attack. 3rd-seeded Scarborough takes on number 6 seed Hamilton in another fixture. Scarborough won the season series, picking up 2 wins and a tie against the Steel Towners. Scarborough is another team that lacked consistency this year, but they've got some massive names on this team. Former Bulgarian First Division pro Kirill Dimitrov is the ultimate playmaker. Bosnian import Adis Sesic was one of the league's top scorers, and former Toronto FC star Adrian Can anchors the defense. Add to that the solid goalkeeping of Imad Hakura, and Scarborough might look better on paper in this matchup. Hamilton, however, has been one of the league's hottest teams over the 2nd half of the season, and they appear to be finding their groove at just the right time. All season, Croatian import Drazen Vukovic was their main option up front, but lately, Zdenko Jurcevic has been lights out, scoring at will and providing a 1-2 punch that has been virtually impossible to shut down. Finally, we see 4th seed Serbia taking on number 5 Toronto Atomic. Atomic won the season series, and the teams finished tied with 30 points apiece. This should be a dynamite matchup. Atomic is led by former Canadian international and TFC star Terry Dunfield. All season, Dunfield was solid, but just recently he found his goal-scoring touch as well, which has elevated Atomic's fear factor. Ihor Melnik has provided scoring punch as well for Toronto, and their 36 goals ranks 2nd in the league. Serbia was no slouch in the goal-scoring department either this year, potting 33. Up front, they're led by perennial CSL All-Star Milo Sampanovic, who tallied 8 times. The Serbs are big, talented, and have received outstanding goalkeeping from Goran Skaric between the posts. Be sure to head to CanadianSoccerLeague.ca for the schedule of this weekend's quarterfinal games. Welcome back to Jevova CSL Primetime. Addis Sesic has been one of the top players in the CSL over the past few seasons. The Bosnian native brings a vast array of skills to the pitch, but he hasn't always had an easy go of things, coming to a new country, learning a new language, and having to leave family back home. It's a familiar story for many of the foreign players in the league, but Sesic has adapted and is loving his new adopted home in Canada. Here's the story of Addis Sesic in this week's Player Spotlight, brought to you by Olympic Trophies, official trophy supplier to the Canadian Soccer League.
My name is Addis Sesic and I'm playing for Scarborough SC. This is my fifth year in a row in Canada. I was playing for SC Waterloo 4 years in a row, and we won the championship in 2013. Now I'm playing for SC Scarborough and we got practices every day. I really like this team. The coach is pretty much like Ricardo. He's a good coach, and I learn a lot from him too. I'm 29-year-old guy, and I'm still learning. I like to learn. I like to see new things, how it's going on the field. And Ricardo is a coach who can bring it on the field. I really feel so proud to play here. Everybody accept me, rest of my teammates, my guys who's playing with me. We are like a family here. So I like to play here.
He's a great guy. He seems very serious and everything, but he's not. He's a joker. He likes, we mess around with him and stuff, but he's a really good guy. He's a really good guy. Good, yeah. Of all the guys that are not from here, he's probably one of the best with his English. We have a few guys, it's just we have a great relationship, and I think we've said 2 words to each other in the last 2 years.
Till this year, I was decided every time because I got my family in Bosnia. I'm alone here, actually just playing soccer and that's it. During the summertime here, during the season, actually every year in November, I'm going back home in Bosnia and I'm playing there. I was playing 2 years in a row top division, and then last year I was playing first division too. Yeah, I always decide to go back because of my family. That's the only reason when I'm going back. I'm a person who's got a lot of emotions every second, and I love my family. I got only my mom. My dad passed away 2006 when he was 46-year-old, and my sister get married that time, and me and my mom, it was just alone there. So that's she's the person I can't live without her, and of course my girlfriend comes now. I was get married last year. And now I'm a happy person, so I bring her here to Canada too. Now we are together here, and then I feel now in Canada I feel so proud because I got somebody who's gonna take care about me, and I'm gonna take care about her. So yeah, she's here helping me every day. She's working too, but every day when she get back home and I get back home after practice and everything, I have a person who with who I can talk. And you know what I mean, change conversation and stuff. So it's pretty much easier this year, the easiest year in Canada, of course. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stay in Canada after this year, because this is the first year with my wife here, and I'm feeling so nice here. When I was in Bosnia, they was calling me do you want to sign contract with SC Scarborough? And we was talking about it. I was okay, I'm gonna sign contract, but I want to hear what team we have, what guys we have. We was talk about it, and then I was so excited when I was come here. Yeah, when I saw all these guys, at the beginning I didn't feel like that, but when I met these guys, when I got a practice on them, I was so excited and satisfied too, because these guys are every single person are professionals, big professionals. There's a lot of skills players, so. Yeah, I think this team this year we're gonna go we can go all the way to the top, of course.
And just before we go, a look at the top 5 plays of the week. Number 5, Scarborough was all over Milton like a cheap suit last week, and it would have been a lot worse if not for saves like this from Vladimir Vujosinovic. Nothing you can do about this one though. Alex Sajilkovic making mincemeat out of the Milton defenders here, and he walks in and smacks it home for the beautiful Scarborough tally. Number 3, York's David Guzman will pick his spot here, and yeah, that is sweet. And then the little twirl afterwards for full effect. York having all kinds of fun this year. Number 2, Terry Dunfield free kick from 25 yards out, and Terry is making this a weekly thing now. He has been on fire lately. Number 1, though, same game, Serbia's Branislav Vukomanovic one-ups him from 34 yards out. That's about as good as it gets, and it is our CSL play of the week. And we are all out of time. Just remember, though, you can head to CanadianSoccerLeague.ca to get all your up-to-date league information. At CSL_soccer on Twitter, and Jevova Canadian Soccer League on Facebook. We'll see you next week, folks. Thanks for watching.